What's up, guys? This is your boy Seth Savage. Welcome back to the Combat Sports Media YouTube channel. As you can see, I'm in New York City, directly in front of Radio City Music Hall, which, in reality is nothing more than just a failed business that turned into a landmark. But that's not what we're here for. I'm here because I am making a Guillermo Rigondeaux fight breakdown, preview, and prediction video. And what better place to do it in the world than Radio City Music Hall? Now, some of you, but not most of you, are probably asking yourselves, like, why is Radio City Music Hall the best place in the world to do a Guillermo Rigondeaux preview, breakdown, prediction, fight video? Well, that's because it is the site of his greatest win in his career. This is where he outboxed Nonito Donaire to a unanimous decision victory for the WBA and WBO Super Bantamweight titles back in 2013. So this is where he defeated Nonito Donaire for those titles in that fight, which was televised on HBO. And it is what I believe, if I'm not wrong, it's only one of two boxing fights or events to be held at this venue. The other one was back in '96 with Roy Jones as the main event. I forgot who his opponent was. I didn't watch it live. I was very young. But anyway, so let's get on with the prediction video. Now, I believe, well, he's going to be fighting Riel and Casimero, who is from the Philippines. And it's going to be for, if I'm not mistaken, it's a title unification at Bantamweight, which is a division that Guillermo Rigondeaux belongs in and has belonged in for the longest time, but hasn't been campaigning at because I believe, I don't know, maybe he thought that bigger fights were in the higher weights. He's obviously went up as high as 130 to fight Lomachenko, which was a big mistake and a bad matchup for him. Guillermo is only 5'4", and regardless of what BoxRec says, he's a lot older than 40 years old. I mean, he just looks it. So I'd say he's around maybe 45 years of age at least. And he's 5'4", with, I believe, a 67-inch reach. And he's finally fighting a title unification fight in a weight class that he belongs in. That's perfectly suited for him. But he's at an extremely advanced age, and in his last fight, he struggled to win a split decision against, to be honest, I forgot who it was. I didn't watch it. So I'm assuming that he's far from being at his best. He's no longer the guy that outboxed Nonito Donaire here back in 2013, because that was quite a bit long time ago, especially if you were already in your 30s back then. So he's a southpaw. He's slick. And regardless of what people say, he's always had great power. Not just good, but great. He is one of those guys that could put you out with one punch. But he's always chosen to fight a safety first and cautious style throughout his whole career. I remember, let's face it, he doesn't have the fans in mind when he's fighting, and that's his prerogative, to each his own. But that is the reason why he never became the star that many people thought when he first came on the professional scene. His personality and his, I don't know about so much his personality, but his fighting style doesn't match his talent. The entertainment that he gives out doesn't match his talent, and it never did. I remember being at a Rigondeaux fight live. I believe it was the fight right after he put on his great performance here against Donaire. He fought in Atlantic City against, I forget his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, it was after the Glenn Tapia versus James Kirkland fight. And supposedly, Rigondeaux was the main event. However, pretty much everybody, half the arena left once the Glenn Tapia Kirkland fight was over. And then, like 2 rounds after, into the Guillermo fight, everybody that was there left. The only people that were watching the rest of that fight after the first rounds were his media members and stuff like that. People who were working the fight. And I remember to this day, one of the top ranked people who I was sitting not too far away from, just complaining about how boring this guy's style is. So that's clearly the reason why he didn't become the star that many people believe that his talent would allow him to. And other than that, an extremely accomplished fighter, despite only having 20 fights. By the way, his record is 20-1 with 13 knockouts. That one loss coming at 130 against Vasyl Lomachenko, a weight class that he didn't belong in the first place. And so yeah, arguably an all-time great. As far as like fighters below 126 are concerned. And that's Guillermo going into this fight. He's currently, I believe, the WBA strap holder. Casimero, who we're going to get into right now, is the, I believe, WBO strap holder. And he too is 5'4", with a 64-inch reach, I believe, is what he was listed at. And he does have 4 losses, but 30 or so wins. And he too is a world-class fighter, but totally different style. He is what many people would consider a wild man. For those of you who remember Ricardo Mayorga and his fighting style, well, in some ways, not most, they're different, but in some ways he is a mini Ricardo Mayorga in the sense that he is a brawler for sure, without a doubt, and he likes to throw looping, wide, powerful power shots most of the time. I'm talking about big uppercuts, big hooks with both hands, overhand rights, and just power shot after power shot. He is similar to Ricardo Mayorga in many ways. Now, as far as style. Now, he does have those 4 losses, and the thing is, unfortunately for him, those losses come at 115 and at 112, if I'm not mistaken, which are clearly smaller weight classes. Now, that means his punch resistance wasn't all that at super flyweight and at flyweight. You know, it could have been decent, but he wasn't exactly super going off of those statistics. And here he is fighting at a much higher weight at 118, and he's doing great. You know, maybe that jump up in weight actually suited him, but at the same time, I can assure you he hasn't fought anybody like Guillermo Rigondeaux ever in his life, and he's lost to lesser fighters. Even though the fighters he's lost to are decent and they're good, they're not as good as Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux, like I said before, is arguably one of the best fighters to ever live below 126 pounds. So, and let's talk about the power. Now, Guillermo has always had good power, but now he's fighting at a more suitable weight class for himself, and his power, I'm assuming, is going to be that much better. So he's clearly going to be the hardest puncher that Casimero is going to be facing in his career, or has faced in his career so far. You know, that's a pretty good bet that that's going to be the case. And power, despite Rigondeaux's age, power is the last thing to go in most circumstances, but not all. So, those are some of the tidbits and the facts going into this fight. Now, on to the prediction. Now, I haven't seen Guillermo fight in quite some time, I have to be honest. Oh, and by the way, there is a big age gap between the two. Guillermo, like I said, is, I believe, about 45 years of age probably. And Casimero is, I think, 32. So, Casimero definitely has that going for him. And, you know, it's funny, I'm trying to make my prediction now as we speak. I haven't really quite made it. But thinking about it, Casimero has a lot going for him. Both fighters have a lot going for them into this fight. You know, Guillermo is finally at a weight that's most suitable for him. He's finally not going to be the smaller man and going into this fight. His power is going to be at an all-time high, most likely. So, you know, he's been outboxing and beating people that in those higher weights, and he's competed as high as 130. So, fighting at this weight should be a breath of fresh air for him, especially against a guy that's not the hardest guy to hit. He's relatively an easy target, as relentless as Casimero is. Because Casimero, that's his thing. Much like Mayorga, defense is not his thing. He's relentless, throwing non-stop power shots, and he's just looking to make it into a brawl and just catch you and hit you with big shots, big shots. But I have to go with Rigondeaux, regardless of his age. I think I have to go with him. He's undoubtedly going to be the best fighter, I believe, that Casimero has yet faced, been in the ring with, despite the age. And I'm not saying this is going to be an easy fight, or this is going to make it look like the Donaire fight, as sloppy as and open as Casimero may be. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be an entertaining fight, a competitive fight, but I think he's going to come out on top with a decision victory. He may even knock Casimero down once or twice with flush, straight left hands. yeah, I believe I'm expecting a good competitive fight with Rigondeaux coming up on top. Mainly due to him fighting at an appropriate weight class, and you know, he's going to be able to. It's going to be easier for him to use his jab to control range and stuff like that, and it's just going to be, like I said, just a breath of fresh air for him to be at an appropriate weight. And with the amount of talent that he has, despite his age, he should be able to pull off a competitive decision victory. Once again, do not use my videos for gambling purposes. This is strictly just for entertainment. I like talking boxing and mixing in some good old history with it. Well, there you have it, guys. Please don't forget to click the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys. Peace out.